hip hop and R&B.
Real rap promo.
Artists, are you struggling with getting people to listen to your music? Do you need a bigger fan base? Real Rap Promo is here to help you. Log on to www.realrappromo.com today to see how they can help you with all your promo and marketing needs.
Real rap promo.
P.S. Use the promotional code RADIO at checkout to get 20% off on all services.
It's going down.
Here's another exclusive interview on K-100 Radio.
All right.
You are tuned to K-100 Radio, hip hop and R&B.
Yeah. Shots are fired. We're back. K100 Radio. I am your host, Blizzard. All right, we're live for a direct line interview right here on K100 Radio, man. We got the homegirl Sunflower is in the building. But hold on real quick. I got to make sure I'm saying this right. Hold on a second. I'm saying it right. Sunflower the DJ, or we going with DJ Sunflower? Which one we doing today, Sunflower? Or we just going with Sunflower?
Sunflower the DJ.
Sunflower.
Just Sunflower, but
okay.
yeah.
I want to make sure I'm saying it right. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the show. Again, you've been on the show before. She's been a guest on my Points of View segment. Welcome back to the show. But this time, all right, we're here for some serious business. All right. We're gonna talk about the new book that she's got. It's called Beat Face. It's talking about a really serious issue, which is domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? And Sunflower the DJ is, of course, a DJ, and she does a thing. She puts out mixtapes. She does, of course, clubs. She does a thing. She's a DJ. All right. But this book that she's written is a personal story, and one that tells her story about being a victim of domestic violence. And I'm gonna stop the music. I'm gonna give her the floor for a second. Let her properly introduce herself, formally introduce herself to our listening audience. You've got the floor, Sunflower. Go ahead and tell the people.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Sunflower the DJ. Everybody pretty much calls me Sunflower. I'm a DJ from Houston, and I moved to Atlanta in 2014. And I've been here working in clubs and putting out mixtapes. I actually been putting out mixtapes since like '06 though. But I started out in strip clubs and moved to regular clubs and events and venues and conferences, and here we are today.
And that's where we're at with it. We're here now, and we all here for it. All right. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's jump into the stuff. Let's jump into the shit. Okay, tell us about the book. Tell us about Beat Face. Beat Face is a biography of sorts, right, for you, basically, right?
Yes,
okay.
It is.
All right.
It's about a period of time when I dated an individual who verbally, physically, and sexually abused me.
And I guess the first thing is the trauma. First of all, there's a lot of issues that come with that go beyond when it happened right then. Like, of course, the actual physical trauma of being beat and living through that. But then there's the psychological stuff that lingers on for years and years. What made you want to put your story into a book and tell the world about all that? But a lot of people are ashamed about being abused. That's why a lot of it doesn't come to fruition and to light. But what made you want to go ahead and put it on Front Street?
Well, I was actually about to do your show the day before I was about to do Points of View. I was standing in the kitchen cooking dinner with my family, and the crowns that I had in the front of my mouth from my domestic situation fell out. Mm-hmm. So I was traumatized, and I knew that I had to be on camera with you. I knew I couldn't get any teeth in like 24 hours.
Right.
So the only thing that I could do was start writing. So I started writing, and I was dropping little excerpts of the things that I had written on Facebook. And a few of my friends were like, you should just go ahead and write a book, because it started out as just a journal. And then, I I work with women who have suffered domestic violence, and I work in some shelters. So it just came to fruition that way.
So the crowns that you had, they were from because the guy abused you and pretty much knocked out your natural teeth, and you had to have them replaced. And that kind of brought all.
He hit me in the face. He hit me in the face with a gun,
Jeez.
And I lost my 2 front teeth. So I had crowns on my 2 front teeth.
That is a very, very traumatic. I mean, just living through that and going through that. You know, I guess the question would be, first of all, did he he get punished? Like, did anything happen to him? Was there any punishment? Did he go to prison? Did he go to jail for doing that to you? Did he get away with it?
He didn't go to jail for doing anything to me personally. Like, he had gone to jail once before, and you can read about it in the book. But he had gone to jail once before. But you know, karma has a way of serving its revenge.
Yeah.
On the side, very cold, and he ended up getting a very long sentence for some unrelated things.
Mm-hmm. Did you? And I know you put all this in the book, and so if you really want to hear this whole story, I'm definitely going to need you guys to go out and support and get Beat Face when it comes out. When is the book drop? Available? When is it available? Is it available now? Can they get it now?
Yeah, yes, they can get it now. You can order on djmfsunflower.com, as well as it'll be up on Amazon coming Monday. Yeah, Monday.
All right. So definitely, you make sure you want to come up and make sure you search it. It's called Beat Face by Sunflower the DJ. I've got the image up on the screen for the people over on the Facebook Live. If you're listening on the Instagram Live, or if you're listening to this on SoundCloud, or maybe just go search that real quick. And if you're watching it on YouTube or the Facebook Live feed, you can see, obviously, the cover and everything right there on the screen. All right. Was there anybody else in your story? Is there anybody that didn't want you to tell this story outside of probably this guy, but fuck him, right? But you know what I'm saying? Is there anybody else that didn't want you to tell this story? Maybe your kids, maybe your family members didn't want you to talk about this, just wanted to bury it, let it stay in the past. And was this like another form of therapy for you, for dealing with the trauma of it all?
Well, I sat down and had a talk with my family before I ever even released the book, and my partner actually read the book before I released it, period. And he gave me the go ahead, and I talked to my daughter about it because I have a 12-year-old daughter. Mm-hmm. So I talked to her about it because, most people know me as a DJ, and especially at her school, and I knew there was going to be a lot of marketing, a lot of push, a lot of promo, a lot of ways that they would be able to see it. Mm-hmm. So even if the kids didn't have the book, because the book is an adult book and it's very graphic.
Right.
Like, even if their parents ordered the book, and said anything about it, we had our conversations about it ahead of time so that she would be prepared. As well as if she knows that if she ever needed to come to me and talk to me about it, if she ever needed to talk to her dad about it, her grandparents, she's got a good support system to be able to speak about how she feels. And we have a very open dialogue in our household, so she's able to speak about how she feels about things.
And so, did she know? She's 12 years old. Is she allowed to read the book? I guess I'll start right there.
No.
She's not allowed to read the book. Okay. All right.
No.
But she does know about the fact that you were abused and things like that. At some point she's going to read it.
Yes.
I'm sure when she get old enough.
Yes, like she does it well. I mean, I don't, like his kind of, they do understand, but I don't think she could totally understand domestic violence in its totality.
At 12, maybe not, unless she's witnessed it firsthand. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And she never witnessed anything, let's be clear. So she never witnessed any violence towards me whatsoever.
Okay, right. So, yeah. Well, I guess that would be very tricky. So these are the things that you don't think about when you are a consumer, when you're just somebody who's saying, oh, they got a book out, you don't think about the effect telling a story like this has on the whole family. You feel me? That, from both sides of the family, even the guy that did it, even though he doesn't really deserve any consideration, what his family may feel or whatever, because, it could, if some stories get out, like Ike Turner, for instance, you know what I'm saying? Like Ike Turner, that movie came out, and of course everybody, rightfully so, vilified Ike Turner, but what about Ike Turner's kids, or what about his family of siblings? Like, it's like, oh, your brother's a monster, or your family member's a monster, whatever, and then they start getting thrown into the limelight inadvertently just because of the actions of him. So it's like a lot of people that,
for me, like in the acknowledgments, even at the beginning of the book, it says, because there are a lot of other people named in the book as well,
right.
So the names were changed to protect the innocent and the guilty. So some people may, unless they were, there with me at that point in my lifetime, they may have some idea about who I'm talking about in the book, but I'd never name the person directly.
Right. That's to avoid the lawsuits and crazy stuff too, also. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that part too.
Yeah,
so they may have ideas, but unless they know me like it, and we're really, really close, they have no idea, who the person is at this point.
Right. So hey.
So unless he came out and said, "Yo, that was me,"
right,
then we are where we are with it.
Who's gonna want to admit this, to that? So we're Facebook friends, and I see a lot of stuff that you post on social media. Some of it is fun, some of it funny. We've had our arguments on social media. Of course, that's part of social media. You feel me? Still love you, still fuck with you.
Yeah.
But we do that. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
It's because we both just really don't really give a damn, and we some opinionated people, both of us. And so it's always
absolutely.
It's always fun to go back and forth with you on certain subjects. You know what I'm saying? So when you're on social media, and you're talking about a topic, and then domestic violence comes up. You feel me? And then you've actually been through that. How do you hold it in? How do you tame it? Or are there some lines that you just won't cross because you actually been a victim of domestic violence? That because we both of us are really free and really unforgiving about what we say on social media. But is there something that draws a line because you actually been through that you won't necessarily joke about when it comes down to that particular subject, or is it something that's like, hey, it is what it is, I'll still talk about it because it needs to be talked about? How do you feel about that in engaging people on social media about domestic violence?
For me, it is what it is, because everybody has, like you said, we're very opinionated people. Everybody has their own opinions of things, and throughout this process, I've been asked a lot of questions. Some I didn't want to answer, but I did. I don't get upset about it. I don't let it bother me. And I discuss it with people if they want to know, because there are so many stereotypes and stigmas about domestic violence. So unless you've been through it, then people don't understand, which is part of the reason why I put out the book, because it gives people some understanding as to why women stay.
That's a good question. That's a good part. I listen. Because I didn't grow up in an abusive household, so I don't understand it. And I'm a 6'2", 240-pound man. I'm hard to intimidate. So I don't understand what it's like to live in constant fear or intimidation. Like it doesn't comprehend to me. And I don't know if my kids understand it because I don't subject them to that, But so I can't say that I can relate, but I've always wanted that question, like, why don't people just leave? Because, and we've had this discussion before, I think, on social media, where it's like, okay, don't get me wrong, sometimes the police drop the ball, but in my experience with the police, and I've had a fair share, you know what I'm saying? Not for this, but for other shit. You know what I'm saying? When you hit, if you hit a woman, they pulling up and you going to jail ASAP. They're not playing with you. So for like in modern times, I know back in the day they would let it slide because the police used to beat their wives' asses and all kind of shit like that too. So they pull up and it was okay. But now it seems like in modern times in this country, not everywhere, but in this country, you absolutely going to jail. I've seen it where they come in and they take the woman to jail because she swung back. So for me, it's always like, okay, why do people sit there, let this guy beat him, and then get up and go to work the next day, or he gets up and goes to work the next day? Why don't they just run right off to the police station right then and have him locked up, put a restraining order on him? Tell me some of the psychological reasons that women don't do that. And if you did you do that the first time that this guy abused you? And if you didn't, what made you not do it?
Okay, well, the first time I was beaten, I was pretty much in shock. And then the person kept me with them after the situation, so I couldn't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like I could run to the police or go anywhere because he kept me with him. And then after that, it began to become verbal abuse. So then a person begins to kind of break down your self-esteem. They get to you psychologically. So a narcissist then turns a person into a codependent, which is what I talk about in the book, because I became codependent on that volatile relationship. Mm-hmm. Luckily, we didn't have any children together, but I know a lot of women stay because of their children, and that's a problem because, especially today, you can't just run off with somebody's kids. With a man, you can't just run off with a man's kids. So, like that's also dangerous for some women. Some of them don't have the income or the money to leave. Like I had to leave states. I had to leave the state of Texas,
right,
to find safety.
And that's not always easy, of course. Obviously, we've seen that, especially if you don't work.
It was lucky that I had somewhere else to go. Sometimes people don't have anywhere else to go. Or sometimes they have, like I've dealt with women who have family members who don't believe it, or they won't take them in, or they won't help them. And it's hard in the shelter, especially when you have children. It's hard in the shelter. Like although it's helping you, there's no way of living. Mm-hmm. So, like, some women will even go to shelters for some point in time, and then they'll just give up and go back home.
To that same abusive relationship, because that
same abusive relationship. Because being in a shelter is kind of, I don't know if some people have never been in jail, but being in a shelter is somewhat similar to being in jail. Like you don't really have any freedom. You get up when they tell you to get up. You eat when they tell you to eat. You do whatever somebody else is telling you to do. So if I'm going to go and be in a place where I'm sleeping on bunk beds with 100, 200 other people around and their children, and there's still somebody telling me what to do, I might as well. Some people feel like they might as well go back home and deal with what they've been dealing with to begin with.
I guess maybe that rationale, yeah. I mean, because I got to ask you a real question. Did you ever consider killing him? I'm a believer of if a woman is literally getting hit in the face with the butt of a fucking gun and getting her teeth knocked out, I'm perfectly okay with her blowing his fucking brains out when he sleep. You know what I'm saying? But
he wasn't asleep. He was wide awake.
He got everybody got to sleep. Everybody got to fucking sleep. Every human being on this planet has to fucking sleep. He has to. He has to go to sleep. He has to. It's physically impossible. He has to go to sleep. You feel me? And I'm just like, cut his fucking throat, beat him in the fucking face, throw hot grits and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know you may go to jail for that, and society is gonna probably convict you of that. But at some point, I'm just like, have you ever considered just fucking blowing his brains out with his own damn gun? You know what I'm saying?
I did, and tried to.
Okay, all right. I because I mean, depending on I'm in a jury pool in my county, and if I ever get called in on that case, she walking. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a hung jury.
Right.
She's not going. I'm not sending any woman. I'm not going in there and sitting down with 12 other people and sending a woman to prison that fucking, especially if you got pictures, you know what I'm saying? If you got clear evidence this guy fucking beat the shit out of you and you decided to just fucking kill him, I'm not necessarily sending this woman to prison. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be that one person that's like, yeah, nah. You know what I'm saying? And you need total conviction in Georgia, baby. So you might walk. But anyway, I just wanted to ask you that, like, on some real shit. But you know, we don't want to.
Yeah, I talk about that in the book because yes, I did. Like I had gotten fed up, and that was a thought on. Yeah, it was a thought on my mind, and it was an action that, and that was ultimately the day that I ended up getting my teeth knocked out because he was able to overpower me when I had the gun.
Oh, okay. That part's in the book too? That part's in the book?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. On Instagram Live, someone says they've been there and they've done that. Real talk, just walk away in progress, which is what you did. Eventually, you just walked away and look where you're at now. Of course, my method of solving things is is completely not the right thing to do. I'm not telling you to go out and kill somebody, ladies. But I'm just saying.
Well,
I
mean,
understand.
you
know
like
what I'm saying?
it's easier said than done to walk away, which is some of the things that I describe in the book. You know, it's easier said than done because, like, I would leave, and he would come and find me. So it was necessary for me to leave the state. Period. And then, like, I left Texas, and then I went to Mississippi. And then I left Mississippi and ultimately ended up in Georgia. So, like, I had to leave. And then, like, even though I still had social media, I was still kind of hiding. Like, I was still posting things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was posting things on my Instagram. I was still making mixtapes. Like, nobody knew about any of these things that I was suffering or that I was going through. Like, even my own parents didn't know. Like, my mom came and picked me up. And she didn't know what was going on. It was just like, I want to come home. And I have the type of parents that are like, that you can always come home. Luckily, I have those type of parents that you can always come home, no matter what.
Right.
So my mom was like, well, you want to come? Come on. I'll come get you. And she came and got me. Like, my mom had no idea that I was being abused at all.
Why not? Why didn't you tell her that? What's up, Tasha? That was Tasha. That asked the question over on Instagram Live. Shout out to her. Why didn't you tell? Were you embarrassed to tell your family that you was being abused? And if so, was it because you were embarrassed? What would be the embarrassment of telling them that? Because you can't control this crazy ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody. I mean, why didn't you tell them that you were being abused? Because I know if I got a daughter, you feel me? The only logical reason I can think for my daughter not to tell me that is because she don't want her daddy to go to jail because she know I'm coming and I ain't coming to talk. If a motherfucker put their hands on her, I'm not coming to talk.
I'm not calling
the police.
What it was. Like,
I'm pulling up.
How could I tell my father?
Right.
You know, like how could I tell my father? My dad's not with the shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, how can I tell my dad that just like even when the book was coming out, like my dad thought it was something recent. So he called me up on the phone and he was like, what is this shit? Who doing what? What we doing? I'm like, Dad, it's okay. It was like 2010.
Right.
Like, you can chill, Dad.
Right.
And he was like, oh, okay, because, you know, he was like, I'm old, so, you know, I ain't got no problem going to prison. I'm probably going to die anyway.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, Dad, like, we're not going to kill anybody. It's over. You know what I mean? And I didn't talk to my mom about it. Because
she gonna tell Daddy first of all. She gonna tell Daddy.
She was gonna tell.
Yeah.
First of all, she was gonna tell.
Right.
And then she was gonna tell all my uncles and all that. So I did, you know, like it was like no need for that. And then I also knew that there was no point in telling them if I was gonna keep going back. I had to make up the decision in my mind to not go back.
Yes, I told her. Now listen. I am so in agreement with you with that last statement, ladies. You feel me? Shout out to Miss Carmel Cutie. Vina, what's going on? She's checking in. She says you got a powerful story. A lot of women have been through abuse, you know, and were embarrassed to tell. So, you know, she maybe she can relate, and she's also co-signing what you're saying about that over on Instagram Live. So, listen, that last statement though, I totally understand, because if you know you're going to go back, then it really does put a dull on your claims, and it makes it just seem like you're just stupid, or And then that's even more. That's like doubly embarrassing to for people to know
It is.
that this guy beat your ass and then you went back. So then people are looking at you even
And
crazier. You know what I'm saying? Then keeping it a secret, it's like 10 times worse because you went back. And if you know you ain't leaving, so
and then too, like for me, it was like, why set my people up to go to prison or be hurt or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like I think I'm from the street, so I think of things in sort of a street manner. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, for me, it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to go back, there's no need in having, like, my brothers and my cousins and uncles come over here, rough this nigga up, you know what I'm saying, do all of this, and I'm going to come right back. Right. And then there's also that point where he was a street nigga also, so he can retaliate against them because they can't. So it was like there's no sense in getting anybody into a situation that hurt or harm somebody else. I had to formally make the decision myself that I'm going to leave and I'm never coming back. And it didn't need to be a situation where it needed to be violent. It didn't need to be a situation where it needed to be a lot of ruckus. I just walked away with the clothes that I had on my back and never turned around.
Yeah. I got to salute you on that. We're coming up on the end of the segment. You feel me? And that's just the countdown. We don't have to shut off right in 60 seconds, but we're coming up to the end of the segment on the live feed. So if you guys are listening live and you guys are watching live over here on the actual broadcast, DJ Raver will be coming up shortly here at 7:00 p.m. And we're still over here on the Facebook live feed and the Instagram live feed with Sunflower the DJ, and we're talking about her new book that she's got out called Beat Face. It's a personal story. It's a biography about her dealing with domestic abuse. You feel me? And she's used her platform. So if you're listening to the show on the broadcast, in a second, DJ Raver is going to pop in because he's scheduled to come on at about 7:00 p.m.
10 seconds.
In about 10 seconds, you're going to hear DJ Raver. But on the Facebook live feed and the Instagram live feed, we'll continue this conversation for a couple of seconds. I got one question I want to ask. Your platform as a DJ, and do you talk about the time in the strip club in the book? Do you talk about that in the book any?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So your time as a DJ, your time as a dancer, working in strip clubs and stuff like that, all of that comes in is going to come up. And I guess when you how do you use the platform to say, okay, because I know there's a lot of women in entertainment and in strip clubs and in both of those industries, there's misogyny, a high level of it. You feel what I'm saying? And
yes.
How do you say, okay, I've been a dancer, I've been a DJ, we play hip hop or whatever, which has a lot of misogynistic lyrics and stuff like that, and then you want to tell this story and tell women to walk away or to hold their head high. How do you combat the people that's going to come back and say, well, look, you're kind of pushing this whole thing going forward because, look at both of these platforms that you've used as a female yourself to catapult where you're at as a DJ. What do you say to that?
Okay, well, dancing, I was a paramedic, so dancing was like a stepping stone into DJing. And shout out to DJ K for putting me on to that. So like that is where I initially met him, and that's where I initially left dancing. Right. Like I walked away from that, and I walked away from dancing at the same time, and I never turned back. There are some decisions that people make in their life that may not be suitable for others, that others may not agree with. But if you read the book, you'll understand why I was in the strip club and why I was doing what I was doing at that point in time. But I knew that I couldn't continue to stay in the strip club, so that's when I moved into DJing. And not only am I a DJ, but I am an accountant. So, like, it's not just that, I just do that. I've since graduated from college. I'm in school now for a finance degree. So, like, everything is a stepping stool to something else. So even if you are down at the bottom, you work your way to the top. You take what you have and you make the best of it and continue to grow. There's no reason that you have to stay at the bottom. You can always flourish. I am the epitome of change. You can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. And it doesn't matter what anybody say about you, because people talk about everybody. I'm not so much agree, but they say people talk about Jesus Christ. People will talk about you no matter what you do. Right. People talk about Bill Gates. Then people talk about Jay-Z. People talk about Beyonce, Rihanna, all of those people. But you have to take those stones and build your own ladder.
Yeah,
because whatever is thrown at you, you got to succeed. Take it and succeed with it. Because I get talked about all the time. What difference does it make? It's not changing anything in my life. It has not neither increased or decreased my pay grade.
Absolutely. All right, we got to leave it right there. We would be just chopping it up live with the homegirls, Sunflower, DJ Sunflower the DJ, and we've been talking about her new book. You guys make sure that you go and get it. It's called Beat Face. All right, it's going to be available on Amazon this Monday. All right, make sure you follow her on social media at Sunflower the DJ. Make sure you connect with her and listen to her story.
And you can get it at www.djmfsunflower.com. You can order it there now.
Okay, yeah.
We've already been shipping them out.
All right, so make sure you get it, man. And a salute to you. Glad you had a chance to tell your story. All right, whenever I crank points of you back up, of course, you know you're going to be a welcome guest again. And this time we're going to do it without the mask.
Thank you. All right. Yes, indeed.
All right.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. K-100 Radio, we are out right now, man. That was our last direct line interview with Sunflower the DJ. Make sure you go get that book. Support these up-and-coming authors, man. Some of this stuff gets turned into a movie, and then they end up on HBO. Then you're going to be wanting to get tickets, and you want to hang out and be in the VIP and all this other kind of shit. Support them now when the grind starts at.